Namaskar, a very good morning to all of you, and welcome to our discussion on economic and social issues. We are discussing the different aspects of international trade, and while discussing international trade, we have also discussed about the currency exchange rate system. Now, when we are discussing the currency exchange rate system, one of the concept is related with convertibility of rupee. Now, basically, what is convertibility of rupee? As the name suggests, we can easily convert the domestic currency into foreign currency or foreign currency into domestic currency without any intervention from government. That means you can easily convert your currency into any foreign currency without any kind of intervention, without any problem. That kind of situation is known as convertibility of rupee. So if you go for definition of convertibility of rupee, you will find it is a kind of situation in which domestic currency in Indian terms, Indian rupee can be converted into any of the foreign currency, or that foreign currency can be converted into domestic currency at the prevailing exchange rate without any government intervention. That means whatever is the government factor, whatever is the kind of market factor based on the demand and supply of foreign currency and domestic currency, if you can convert your currency into any foreign currency, that is known as convertibility of rupee. Now the question which will arise in your mind, yes sir, then what is the problem? We must be able to convert all our rupees into dollars or all dollars into rupees. Why there should be problem? Yes, there should be problem. There are certain restrictions on convertibility of rupees. For certain conditions, you can convert the rupees into dollars. For certain conditions, there are certain restrictions. You cannot fully convert whatever amount of rupee you want to convert into dollars. So that is known as full convertibility or partial convertibility of rupee. Correct? So once you have understood this basic concept, then there are two concepts which you must be aware about. One is known as current account convertibility and another one is known as capital account convertibility. For understanding the concept of convertibility of rupee, you must be thorough with the basic concept of balance of payment. We have already discussed this particular thing, but once again, we will revise this particular concept. We are aware the concept of balance of payment is mainly related with international trade. So what is balance of payment? It is nothing but it's a systematic record of economic transactions between residents and non-residents of country over a period of time. In simplistic terms, in 1 year, whatever money is going out from India to other country or whatever money is coming out from other countries to India. In simplistic term, the incoming and outgoing of international trade, the incoming and outgoing of domestic currency and foreign currency as far as Indian economy is concerned, the total kind of financial transactions related with this is known as balance of payment. And we are aware when we are discussing balance of payment, there are two components of that. One is known as current account and another one is known as capital account. Right? So in current account, what we consider in current account, we take all those financial transactions whereby we do the export and import of goods. That means whatever money is going out when we are importing something from other countries or whatever money is coming in when we are exporting something. बाहर के देश को अगर हम कुछ बेचते हैं तो उसके बदले में भारत को पैसा मिलेगा. बाहर के देश से अगर हम कुछ खरीदते हैं तो उसके बदले में भारत को पैसा देना पड़ेगा. So the net of export and import is known as balance of trade, right? So the international trade related with goods, that means export and import, that falls within the category of balance of trade. We call it as the trade account of balance of payment. So balance of payment has got current account as the component, and as far as current account is concerned, one of the component is balance of trade or say trade account. Another component is so-called invisible component of current account. Invisible component in which mainly we consider all the financial transactions related with the export and import of services, tourism sector, education sector, banking sector, right? So the different kind of services in IT, that is information and technology related sector. So whatever transactions are going on between Indian residents and foreign residents, and during that whatever is the incoming and outgoing of foreign currency or Indian currency, we put it into invisible component of services. Similarly, the different kind of components through which we get the private remittances. That means the Indians who are working in USA, the Indians who are working in Saudi Arabia, and they are earning money over there and they are sending that money back to India. We call it as private remittances. So mainly when we speak about the current account of balance of payment, there mainly we consider the trade account, that means the net of export and import of goods, and the other component is invisible component, in which mainly we consider the incoming and outgoing related to the services sector as far as international trade is concerned, and the incoming and outgoing related with different types of private remittances. So, in a nutshell, when we calculate all these things as far as international trade is concerned, we call it as current account of balance of payment. So, when I am using the term current account convertibility, that means when I want to convert domestic currency into foreign currency for doing the current account transactions, for doing the financial transactions related to export and import of goods, related to export and import of various kind of services, related to various kind of private remittances or donations or gifts. That means all the financial transactions related to the current account of balance of payment, related with that, if our government, if our system allows the conversion of Indian rupee into foreign currency, the conversion of rupee into dollars or otherwise dollars into rupee, if that permission is allowed by government of India, we call it as current account convertibility of rupee. That means we are only considering the current account as far as convertibility of rupee is concerned. There is another component which is known as capital account convertibility, CAC, that is capital account convertibility. So as the name suggests, that means we can convert rupee into the foreign currency. For what purpose? For doing the capital account financial transactions of balance of payment. That means mainly for the purpose of foreign direct investment or foreign indirect investment. That means from the foreign investors, if you want the investment, that means that dollar has to be converted into Indian rupee. That dollar has to be converted into Indian rupee, convertibility of dollar into rupee. Or suppose the Indian investors want to invest into foreign companies. For that purpose, the Indian rupee has to be converted into foreign dollar or say foreign currency. For capital account transactions, if our government allows such kind of convertibility of domestic currency into foreign currency, we call it as capital account convertibility, which mainly consists of foreign direct investment or foreign portfolio investment, or we say at foreign institutional investment, foreign indirect investment. Second thing, important thing, that is related with taking loans by the government or external commercial borrowings, ECB. So Indian companies, if they want to take the loan from the foreign banks, considering that the interest rate in foreign banks is less, so certainly we will like to take the loan from the foreign banks, HSBC bank, correct? So if you want to take, if the Indian investors want to take the loan from the foreign banks, that means the foreign currency has to be converted into Indian currency. That is a capital account transaction, mainly external commercial borrowings or Indian government's loan from other countries, or otherwise the NRI deposits. non-resident Indians deposits into Indian account. So such kind of activities which are related with foreign direct investment or foreign institutional investment or external commercial borrowings or sovereign loans or NRI deposits, these activities, these transactions of balance of payment are known as capital account convertibility of balance of payment. So one should be absolutely clear when we use the word current account convertibility. That means for the current account of balance of payment, whatever activities, whatever financial transactions we are doing, that is allowed. Then we say current account convertibility. If we use the term capital account convertibility, that means for the capital account related financial transactions in terms of bringing FDI into India, or in terms of bringing external commercial borrowings into India, or in terms of NRI depositing into Indian banks accounts. Such kind of financial transactions are known as capital account financial transactions of balance of payment. If government allows the convertibility of rupee into foreign currency or foreign currency into Indian rupee for the purpose of such kind of capital account financial transactions of balance of payment, we call it as capital account convertibility. So if you are absolutely clear about the concept of balance of payment, then you will understand the meaning of current account convertibility and the meaning of capital account convertibility. So I have tried to make you understand what is the meaning of current account convertibility and what is the meaning of capital account convertibility. You should be thorough with this particular chart with the concept of balance of payment and its components, current account and capital account, and the sub components, or what are the kind of financial transactions which are considered as current account transactions and what are the transactions which are considered as capital account transactions of balance of payment. Now once you have understood this particular thing, then we should discuss about the capital account convertibility. Now we are clear what is current account convertibility. So grossly you will find, as far as current account convertibility is concerned, mainly it is related with the international trade of goods. Mainly it is related with export and import. Mainly it is related with private remittances. That means the people who are the Indian people who are staying outside India, they are earning money in other countries and they are sending money back to India. So for such kind of transactions, the rupee is allowed to be converted into foreign currency. For example, suppose an Indian wants to go to USA for tourism purpose, allowed. Suppose an Indian wants to go to USA for health purpose, for operation purpose, allowed. Okay, suppose a nurse who is staying in Saudi Arabia, she is earning money over there and she wants to send that money back to India, allowed. Suppose export and import related conversion of rupee, allowed. So all these activities that will fall into the category of current account convertibility. Okay. The other component is capital account convertibility. In short term, we call it as a CAC, that is capital account convertibility. And we are aware the capital account convertibility is in a way a complex concept. So mainly it is related with investment from outside India into India. So whether it is FDI, foreign direct investment, that means some company from foreign is coming into India and they are investing into some company of India. That is foreign direct investment. Or they are investing into shares of India. That is foreign indirect investment or foreign portfolio investment. So for investment purpose, if foreigners are investing into India or vice versa, Indians are invested into foreign companies, such kind of transaction, they will fall into capital account transactions. Okay. Also the NRI deposits. The NRI, that is non-resident Indians who are residing in other countries and they want to send money back into their accounts in India. So NRI account deposits, that is also the component of capital account of balance of payment. And third important thing, external commercial borrowings. That means we are taking loans externally from outside country, from foreign countries. And who is taking? Private company. For example, if the Tata Steel Company takes loan from HSBC Bank of America, then that is known as external commercial borrowing. And for that purpose, again, that dollar has to be converted into Indian rupee. So all these transactions are part of capital account of balance of payment. And if government allows the conversion of rupee into foreign currency or conversion of foreign currency into Indian rupee for such kind of activity, then it is known as capital account convertibility. But as far as India is concerned, as on date, if you find as far as current account convertibility is concerned, that means for the activities related to current account, already I have discussed the current account of balance of payment. So as far as current account convertibility is concerned, in India, current account convertibility is allowed. That means for different activities related to current account of balance of payment, rupee can be fully converted into dollars or dollar can be fully converted into Indian rupee. There is no problem related with that. But as far as capital account convertibility is concerned, that means these activities are concerned, rupee cannot be fully converted. So only partial convertibility is allowed. Partial convertibility and after a particular limit, more than that particular limit, you cannot convert Indian rupee into deposits. There is an upper limit which is kept, ceiling, what we call it as a ceiling, upper limit. Say for example, 2.5 lakh dollars. So up to 2.5 lakh dollars in a year, you can convert Indian rupee into foreign currency. Above that, it is not allowed. So it is not without restriction. There are certain restrictions. So such kind of thing is known as partially capital account convertibility. So in India, partial capital account convertibility is allowed, whereas in terms of current account, the full current account convertibility is allowed. So now next question comes, if it is so, then what are the advantages? Why government must have taken this particular thing? If it has allowed the capital account convertibility, why it has allowed? If it has not allowed to the fullest extent, why it has not allowed? That means we should be aware what are the advantages and disadvantages of allowing capital account convertibility. What are the positive impact when government allows the capital account convertibility? That means conversion of rupee into foreign currency for capital account activities. So what will happen if government gives the full capital account convertibility? First positive thing which will happen, it will promote the foreign investment. See, full capital account convertibility, that means we are fully allowing to convert Indian rupee into dollars or dollars into Indian rupee for main activities related to capital account transactions. That means for foreign direct investment. That means if suppose I am a foreign investor and if I want to invest 100 crore dollars into Indian company, if there is full capital account convertibility, what will happen? I will convert those 100 crore dollars into Indian rupee and that money will be invested into Indian company. That means what is happening? The foreign investment, the foreign money is coming into India. Because of that, the company is being developed. If the company gets developed because of the foreign investment or because of the capital, because of the availability of money, what will happen? Automatically, there will be positive impact on Indian economy. Why? Because of the because of the construction of a company, or say because of the establishment of company, automatically there will be generation of employment. More and more engineers would be required, more and more workers would be required, so automatically more and more jobs will be produced, so it will generate employment. Also, if it is a foreign company, so there is a possibility that this foreign company will bring the latest technology to India. So there will be newer technology, latest technology, there will be generation of employment, there will be more availability of money, more foreign investment availability. Why? Because it allows the foreign investors to convert fully from dollars to rupee. And simultaneously, if the foreign investor wants to take out his money, he can take out his money back. Why? Because full capital account convertibility is allowed. So what are the positive impact of CAC? It promotes the foreign investment. That will lead to more and more availability of foreign capital into India. That will lead to promotion of industries into India. That will lead to creation of more and more jobs. That will bring to bringing latest technology from the outside nations to India. Okay, it will also allow the Indian companies, that means domestic investors, to invest their money abroad. Like for example, if the Tata company wants to invest into Jaguar company of foreign, so it can invest into Jaguar company, it can earn the profit over there, and that profit will come back to India. That means because of full capital account convertibility, the foreign investment can come in, as well as the domestic investors, they can invest outside also. So economy wise, both these things would be helpful or they will be positive. Okay, the most important thing apart from this FDI coming in is it allows the domestic companies, that means it allows the Indian companies to borrow from abroad. That means from foreign banks, Indian companies can borrow the money. As you are aware, the companies, the different kind of industrialists, they require money, they require loan. If they go to the Indian bank, in Indian economy, the interest rates of banks are higher. For example, the business loan will be at the rate of 6%, 7%, 8%, right? So if he is taking 100 rupees, he has to give it back 106 rupees. If the same businessman is allowed to take the loan from outside banks, in American bank, hardly the loan rate is 1 to 2%. That means if he is taking 100 rupee loan, he has to give it back only 101 rupees or 102 rupees. Whereas in India, he has to give it back 106 rupees. That means for the domestic investors, borrowing a loan from the foreign banks would always be beneficial. So if we allow the full capital account convertibility, it will be beneficial for the Indian companies also to borrow the money from outside. And if the full capital account convertibility is allowed, so automatically there is no need of doing hawala transactions or illegal trade or smuggling, because legally all these international trade related activities or financial transaction would be allowed. Okay, so these are the positive impact of capital account convertibility: enabling the foreign direct investment, enabling the domestic investors to take the loans from the foreign banks. Okay, so these are the positive impact. Second aspect, what are the negative impact of fully capital account convertibility? We have seen the positive aspect, but why government is not allowing full capital account convertibility? Because there is always a risk of flight of capital at short span of time. Just imagine, suppose the different foreign direct investment, different foreign investors, they have invested in India. And for example, just hypothetical number I am giving, suppose $1 lakh is the amount which is invested by the foreign investors into India. Now, as this amount has been invested into Indian companies, so automatically it will lead to the upliftment of Indian economy, upliftment of Indian market. It will lead to increase into the share market price. The Sensex will go higher, the Nifty will go higher. That means the stock exchange will go up. Why? Because there is lot of foreign investment into Indian companies. Because of some reason, if these foreign investors decide that they should take out their money from Indian market, from the Indian companies, if there is a full capital account convertibility, at any time they can take out their money. Suppose because of some factor, if these foreign companies decides, or if these foreign investors decide to take out their money, मान लो just within a week, if more than $80,000 out of these $1 lakh, they are taken out by the foreign investors, what will happen? Suddenly our market will crash, the share market will crash. Share market was at around 50,000 and suddenly it will go down to 35,000, 30,000. That means there will be negative sentiment amongst the investors. They will say, oh, what happened? Indian economy is not up to the mark. Suddenly the share market is going down. And because of that, there will be negative kind of impact or negative sentiments amongst the investors, whether from India or from the outside. So there is always a risk of flight of capital. Capital is money, flight of capital in a short span of time. Suddenly, the investors, foreign investors, they can take out the money back, and because of that, there can be negative impact into the market. That is, there is an increase of volatility in domestic market. There is no stability. There is no firmness of Indian economy if we allow the full term capital account convertibility. There is always a risk of taking out the money from Indian market to the foreign market. So considering this particular risk, and the same thing has happened during 1997 in East Asian crisis. Hong Kong, Malaysia, Indonesia, they are considered as East Asian tigers, and their growth rate was more than 10% in 1997. And because of some factor, it has happened like that the foreign investors, they have taken out money, and they were allowed to take out the money because there was full capital account convertibility. And because of sudden taking out of money by the foreign investors in these East Asian economies like Hong Kong and all those countries, these economies, they were having the economic growth rate, and suddenly there was an economic crisis in these countries. So it should not happen to India. That's why we have not allowed the full capital account convertibility. As far as current account is concerned, we have allowed the convertibility of rupee for all the current account transaction, maximum current account transaction, whereas in case of capital account related transaction, partially up to a particular limit, we have allowed the capital account convertibility. So the positives and negatives of capital account convertibility we have discussed. Now, what is the status in India? As we are aware, till 1991, that means before that, we are aware there was no LPG, that is liberalization, privatization, and globalization strategy. Before that, we are aware that the Indian government was having the total control over the system. So at that time, till 1991, there was a fixed exchange rate system. That means RBI used to decide what should be the convertibility of rupee. RBI used to decide that what should be the conversion rate between $1 and 1 rupee. Correct? So each and everything was controlled by Reserve Bank of India. It was not on the basis of market factor. It was not on the basis of the demand and supply factor. It was decided by RBI. We call it as fixed exchange rate system. But in 1991, we have allowed the liberalization, privatization, and globalization. And as the part of that, in budget of 1992-93, we have allowed the scheme which is known as LERMS, that is Liberalized Exchange Rate Management System. Rather than having the fixed exchange rate system, we have liberalized the system. That means the conversion rate between rupee and foreign currency would be decided by the market up to the level of 60%. That means 60% should be on the basis of market factors, demand and supply. And 40% of that particular value would be decided by the RBI through fixed exchange rate system. So it was a kind of mixed exchange rate system, partially by the market factors and 40% by the RBI fixed. We call it as liberalized exchange rate system, management system. In 1993, we have gone for the managed float system or dirty float, what we call it as a kind of dirty float, dirt float system, that mainly it is through the market factors, but if required in extraordinary situation, RBI can intervene in deciding the exchange rate between domestic currency and foreign currency. In 1993, as far as the trade account related activities are concerned, that means mainly export and import of various kind of goods. For that particular purpose, whatever conversion of rupee into foreign currency or foreign currency into rupee has to be done, that was allowed. So trade account related activities, that means the current account component of balance of trade. So related with those activities, trade account convertibility was allowed. And from 1994 onwards, now current account convertibility is fully allowed. That means for all the activities related to current account, which we have already discussed, whether it is related with a trade account or it is related with export and import of services or it is related with donations, gifts, or private remittances. For all this purpose, fully you can convert rupee into foreign currency or foreign currency into rupee. So in India, this has been the important, I would say, stages or important milestones related with convertibility of rupee. Now in Indian system, again, if you see presently the NRI deposits from capital account, they are allowed fully. Either you can convert rupee into dollar or dollar into rupee. Also, the external commercial borrowing upper limit, they have also increased. That means the Indian companies can take the loans from the foreign banks to the higher level also. Now, related with this, two important committees you must consider. Government of India has appointed in year 1997 one committee under the leadership of S.S. Tarapur. So this is known as S.S. Tarapur Committee 1, that is, which was established in 1997. And this committee has studied the different aspects and recommended to the government that whether rupee, as far as capital account is concerned, whether the capital account convertibility should be full capital account convertibility or it should be partial capital account convertibility. So S.S. Tarapur committee in 1997 has recommended for full capital account convertibility, but it has said that yes, rupee should be fully converted into the foreign currency or foreign currency should be fully converted into Indian rupee for capital account transaction within next 3 years in a step-by-step manner, provided that in India the inflation is not more than 5%, provided the fiscal deficit is not more than 3.5%, provided the NPAs, that is non-performing assets of banks, they are not more than 5%, and provided the foreign exchange currency reserve of India is adequate. In simplistic term, we are having adequate forex, our economy is strong, then nothing to be worried. Nothing to be worried about the flight of the capital. And that's why if these conditions are fulfilled, then in the upcoming 3 years, Indian rupee should be fully convertible to the foreign currency as far as capital account transactions are concerned. This was the recommendation given by S.S. Tarapur Committee, S.S. Tarapur Committee in year 1997. Unfortunately, these recommendations were not accepted by Government of India, and that's why rupee was not fully converted to the as far as capital account convertibility is concerned. Then again in year 2006, again the second committee was established, and again at that time also the chairperson of that committee was S.S. Tarapur. So we call it as S.S. Tarapur Second Committee on fuller convertibility of rupee. And at that time also S.S. Tarapur Committee has recommended that capital account convertibility should be liberalized in 3 phases over the period of next 5 years. So that means Tarapur Committee was of the opinion that Indian rupee should be fully convertible as far as capital account activities are concerned. Okay, so these two important committees you must remember. Now, as far as India is concerned, just one important thing you should be aware. In general, I have spoken about current account convertibility. I have also spoken about capital account convertibility. In current account convertibility, as I have told you, that rupee is fully convertible into foreign currency and foreign currency is also convertible into rupee as far as current account related transactions are concerned. However, for current account transactions also, certain activities, for certain activities, you cannot convert rupee into foreign currency or foreign currency into rupee. These are strictly banned under FEMA, that is Foreign Exchange Management Act. So if you want to convert Indian rupee into dollars for betting, for gambling, for certain drugs related transaction, so for these activities you cannot convert rupee into dollars or say dollars into rupee. So for these activities, convertibility of rupee is not allowed. Travel to Nepal or Bhutan up to $1 lakh is allowed. Overall, now these norms has been changed. For education purpose, for medical treatment purpose, for employment purpose, you can convert rupee into dollars or dollars into rupee. So in total, roughly now 2.5 lakh dollars per year. That much amount you can convert into foreign dollars or foreign dollars into Indian rupee for the various kind of balance of payment related activities related to current account as well as capital account convertibility. Okay, so only you should be aware that there are certain activities, though they are the part of current account transactions, for those activities, the conversion of rupee into foreign currency or foreign currency into rupee is not allowed, right? So this is the concept which you should be aware about. In totality, you might feel that the concept is complex, but in reality it is not. If you are absolutely sure what is the meaning of balance of payment, the components like trade account or say current account and capital account, and in current account also the trade account and the invisible account and the different activities related to that. If you are clear about that particular thing, then you will understand what is exact meaning of current convertibility, current account convertibility of rupee, what is the meaning of capital account convertibility of rupee, what are the advantages of capital account convertibility of rupee, and what are the negatives or disadvantages related to capital account convertibility of rupee. And the two kind of committees related to that, one was related in 1997 under the chairmanship of SS Tarapur Committee. So SS Tarapur Committee 1, and again in 2006 SS Tarapur Committee 2, and their recommendation for full capital account convertibility of rupee. This is what the concept of convertibility of rupee is. I hope you have understood this particular concept. Again, go through this particular lecture, try to understand this particular concept. Conceptual clarity is very, very important. If the concept is clear, then the related data, the updated data, because this data changes, these limits changes. So this data you can add into your knowledge later on. Okay, so this is all about convertibility of rupee. Thank you.